Man, y'all get in here, man. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K Sapp. Well, we got to talk about it, man. It seems like some people in the Cleveland media are upset that Kevin Stefanski got fired and Andrew Berry still has a job. And what they're doing now is taking all their frustrations out and saying that Shedeur Sanders was the problem in Cleveland this year. But there's one Cleveland insider that exposed another Cleveland insider for hating and showing racist tendencies towards Shedeur Sanders. But we're going to talk about it right after this.
Let me put you on game. These other podcasts out here talking that shit, but ain't repping the same. It's my bro K-Sapp, chopping up topics for your optics. From politics to your top picks. Tune in, you gotta watch this. Exclusive material for your radio, stereo, pumping high definition. Stop what you doing and listen. We smashing all competition. You better jump on this wave. Somebody pass me a mic, man, I got something to say.
Well, guys, man, we got to keep it all the way 100 with you. Now, Kevin Stefanski was fired as the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Now, we've sat here all season long and had to listen to all these narratives that was put around Shedeur Sanders. We had to listen to certain people say Shedeur Sanders is not an NFL quarterback. We had to listen to certain people say that Dylan Gabriel was far more better and more precise than Shedeur Sanders. We had to sit here and listen to a lot of Cleveland media flip-flop back and forth about Shedeur Sanders. We sat here and listened to all the narratives that they said before Shedeur Sanders was able to get on the NFL football field. And as soon as Shedeur Sanders got on the NFL football field, it was a lot of going back and forth. And now we've sat here and listened to one guy in Jason Lloyd, and we got to keep it all the way 100. At first, I thought it was just an individual that didn't know football, that needs to stick to baseball, you know, talking about the Cleveland Guardians. And his assumptions and breakdown and the way he analyzes Shedeur Sanders, it comes off as a hater. I know a lot of people been in the comment section talked about it's not hating when you giving your opinion. Now, it's a difference in the opinion that you give of a certain individual. And his opinions are hater opinions. His opinions are borderline racist. And I stated that in a video I produced about a week ago. We've seen the likes of G. Bush from the barbershop cook him live on national television for his asinine things that he said about Shedeur Sanders, the metrics that he's using instead of using his eye test and going off of what people are saying, lying, talking about people in the organization are saying this about Shedeur. But listen, he's finally been exposed and called out. He's finally been exposed for the racist behavior that he shows toward Shedeur Sanders. Now, I've sat here and said that Jason Lloyd knows nothing about football. He called Shedeur Sanders the worst quarterback in this century, worse than Jamarcus Russell. That's from what he used his advanced metrics. And then G. Bush got on UCSS and basically cooked, fried, sliced, and glazed him and used his own metrics against him and made him look so bad and exposed him. Now he's being exposed in a different light. He's been exposed for being a racist towards Shedeur Sanders. Racist behavior. You can say what you want to say. You can say he's a hater. You can say he's a racist, but I'm just going to call a spade a spade. From what I heard today on what he said on the Ken Carmen and Anthony Lima show, that comes off as racist behavior. So you got to call him a racist. And Ken Carmen stood up to let him know that you're wrong about Shedeur Sanders. And he had to check him live in the studio when he called in on the Ken Carmen and Anthony Lima show. And it got to a point where Jason Lloyd was just putting any kind of narrative out there about Shedeur Sanders. And it was bad. But I'm not even going to say anything. I want y'all to listen to what Jason Lloyd had to say. And then I want y'all to listen how Anthony Lima sat back and let Ken Carmen just dissect Jason Lloyd. This is racist behavior. Take a listen to what Jason Lloyd had to say about Shedeur Sanders because he's so pissed off that Kevin Stefanski got fired and Andrew Berry is still there. Take a listen.
I think that's probably what this team needs. And plus, I mean, I don't know that Andrew needs, I mean, I'm not going to call this a power struggle. I don't think it was a power struggle, but one guy left and one guy stayed, and he's the guy who stayed. So he should feel pretty comfortable about where he's at right now, if that makes sense. But the quarterback thing, yeah, I mean, I've said all along, I think Shedeur's presence will be a hindrance to some guy. Not somebody's going to take the job. They pay really well, and there's only 32 of the job. Somebody will take it. But there are candidates out there who will look at this and say, nope, I want nothing to do with that. How could you? Look at everything that Kevin went through over the last year with Shedeur and some of the stupidity and nonsense that was out there. What coach would want to sign up for that? Particularly when he didn't play that well. He wasn't that good. Like, I've been pretty adamant. He shouldn't be on this team.
Wow.
Like, to me, Shedeur should not be on this team next year. He's not good enough to be the starter, and this organization is not stable and mature enough to have him as a backup. They've proven that. So what, are you going to draft another quarterback and put him atop Shedeur, and then all the stuff comes back again about, well, what about Shedeur? When are you going to play Shedeur? Like, no thanks, hard pass. And I just think a lot of coaches are going to view it that way.
I disagree, but because I wanted to ask you another question about Kevin, but now I got to go off on Shedeur here for a second here. I think that's a little extreme. He shouldn't be on the team next year. You're not going to draft a quarterback in the first round next year. You're not in a position to.
I didn't say he shouldn't be in the NFL. He shouldn't be on this team.
I understand that.
Not mature. But look at everything they just went through. And for what? He's not that good.
What did they really go through?
Get him, Ken.
Do we need to remind ourselves of all the locker room stuff, all the crap about the miming and the
That's well. Wait a minute.
What organization wants to put up with that?
You're breaking up for a second here. I think that was more media stuff. I don't think that there was actual problems in the locker room. I had a problem that Dylan Gabriel was there for obvious reasons, but I mean, look at it. I don't think that he was a problem in the building. I don't think that he was such a distraction in the building to everybody involved.
Get him, Ken.
I don't think they let it be that way.
All of that stuff infects into the walls. I'm not saying the unfortunate part is I think he's a really good kid.
Wow.
Sounds like
I think he's a really good young man. But it's just all the nonsense that comes with him. That's exactly why he fell, Ken. You know that. This is why, because teams didn't want to deal with this. And we just saw it play out over the course of the last year.
Well, hey, listen.
And now you're going to sign up for more?
If he's not good enough to have media asking him questions after games that he didn't even play in, fine.
Get him,
but again,
Ken.
he can't help it that media is going to come up to him and ask him questions. I don't think he's pounding away at people going, hey, you want me to answer a question after a football game? I don't think he's doing that. So I'm not going to blame him for us being obsessed with him.
It doesn't matter whose fault it is. It doesn't matter that it's not his fault. It's still the reality of the situation.
Wow. And hey, kudos to Ken Carmen for just sticking up for Shedeur Sanders with this baloney that Jason Lloyd sprued across the airwaves of 92.3 The Fan. Just give him the kudos for just sticking up for Shedeur, listening to this bull jive that Jason Lloyd is trying to sell. So you guys tell me, is that a hater or is that racist behavior? Because you know the history with Jason Lloyd. He has a problem with all black quarterbacks in Cleveland. It ain't just Shedeur, it's all black quarterbacks. That's racist tendencies, man. You can't run from it. You can't deny it. And Ken Carmen probably wanted to go to the lengths to say, man, you got a little racism in you. He wanted to say it. I know he did in so many words, because the way he broke him down, and then to have Jason Lloyd respond by saying, well, he's probably a good kid. Man, that's very condescending, guys. Listen to the way Jason Lloyd talks about Shedeur Sanders over the course of the season. Look at all the stuff. Go listen to everything. It's out there that Jason Lloyd has said about Shedeur Sanders coming at this young black athlete, man. That's the only person that Jason Lloyd has attacked is Shedeur Sanders. Nobody else. And Ken Carmen shut him down and exposed him because he said, hey, I don't think Dillon Gabriel should be in the building. But he didn't want to get off into that because he was going to turn the page, but he said, nah, I can't turn the page now. I got to get off in this Shedeur stuff because you brought it there. And I'm glad that Ken Carmen stood up for Shedeur Sanders because this is asinine. The way Jason Lloyd has attacked Shedeur Sanders through the course of this year, ever since he's been a starter, and then going to say that he don't belong on this team. Yeah, a lot of people want him traded from this team, but to say he don't belong on this team, that is racist behavior, guys. Pay attention, man. Pay attention to what Jason Lloyd has been saying, man. It's out there. He's letting it be known, man. He's not hiding from it, man. It's just that now people are calling him out because they see through the bullshit. This is asinine, man. Get down in the comment section. Let me know what you think about today's video. And if you ain't got your post notifications on, if you ain't subscribed to the channel, make sure you do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Turn your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball drops another hot banger. Oh, yeah, just in case I forgot. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. Catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.